Hello, Blues. This is post-match reaction. Everton have lost yet again at home. I can't believe it, to be honest with you. It's becoming a bit of a joke, the amount of games we're losing at home and not getting wins. And I can't say anything particularly negative about Everton's performance today. I think Everton were the better team by some way, in all honesty. And I think we controlled the game. Just silly moment where... up to that point, ironically, we were really struggling to get numbers forward into the box, into the final third for crosses. And in that moment, we've got plenty of players in the box, and we haven't got a lot of players secure. We haven't got the security, and we're messing about with it. And it's just one long ball. Michael Keane goes over the top, and it's 1v1. He doesn't engage. I mean, we're down the south stand, so it's difficult to tell the angle. So I want to know what people think in the comments. But it looked to me like Michael Keane backed off, didn't engage. The player checked inside and then played a pass. Can Pickford kind of do anything here? Can he read the situation maybe? Can the other Everton defender get involved, make himself... I don't know. It just looked like shit defending, to be honest with you. And a completely avoidable goal. But I just feel so... I'd probably say heartbroken, because in some of the other games, we've been a complete and utter circus. You know, you talk about the Brentford at home game, the Newcastle game at home, the Tottenham game at home. You're losing every single match at the stadium and not getting results. And I'm a little bit embarrassed. Anyway, I'm just going to share this stream with my co-host. So be back in 1 second. Okay, we're back. Just getting in the car now. So I think Corey is joining me. Andy? Is Stevie coming in the car?
Yeah.
Okay. Is he here?
No.
Okay. Are you waiting on him?
Yeah.
Okay, fab. So just waiting on my other brother to come round, and I'll just continue with the post-match reaction for now. But yeah, the atmosphere at the full-time whistle in previous games was... one of complete anger, fed up, pissed off with the players, annoyed. But I think today, the fans at the end of the game clapped the Everton players off. They could see that we put in a good performance, that we weren't, we're doing all the right things. My thoughts on David Moyes is he sets up the team extremely defensive to be secure. We concede a goal from a strange moment where it's almost like against everything we're trying to do principally. And then bizarrely, it's a good thing really, but he goes from one extreme to another. So he sets up extremely defensively, and then when we concede a goal, it's like everything is attacking. Tyrick George comes on. He looks like he was a bag of tricks, trying to make things happen down the left-hand side. He offered a new level of threat and intensity, and then Beto came on, and to be honest, he didn't really have a sniff. I'm not really sure what we were doing to try and get the goal at the end. I think we were having a lot of corners, and we were kind of unable to get a decent crossing or a decent pass through to one of the strikers to latch onto and to get a goal. But we were the only team that were trying to make things happen. We were the team that were full of endeavour. We were the team that wants to get a result. We didn't play bad against Bournemouth either. We played a lot better today than against Bournemouth without really having a lot of chances. And I'm coming away here. I'm gutted. I'm absolutely gutted that we've not got a win. We've trailed out the night yet again, another night match, 7th or 8th night match this season, midweek, and ended up not getting a result. And I'm a little bit ashamed, in all honesty, that we've still not got a result. And it's heartbreaking, isn't it, mate? Really, after that.
I thought it was just shite. I'm gonna be honest. I think it was a case.
Oh, you thought it was completely different?
Yeah, we were the better side, but I think it was just because United was shite. That's pretty much it. I think I mean, it's a perfectly valid tactic, and I think what Moyes has done is essentially gone to make the game shite and bring United to our level. It was one of the worst games of football I've seen. That first half, one of the worst halves from both sides, by the way.
It wasn't good the first half. No, it wasn't.
I mean, I don't know what it was like inside the ground, but I'm assuming the weather didn't help. But it was just
weather's fine, mate.
But it looks fine. Just from what I can see on the screen, it looked like it was absolutely pouring it down. I don't know if it was just the players were struggling to control the ball.
No, clear day. Clear day. Fans were brilliant. The fans were brilliant as well. The atmosphere was good. The players tried. So that's why I'm coming on here. I don't have anything negative particularly to say other than the fact that I'm cheesed off about the result and the manner of the goal we conceded and the lack of clear-cut. I mean, I know I'm diverging here. It's a post-match or anything goes, but Barry, again, just isolated for most of the game. And you're not giving him a chance. It's only when you make the substitutions and you throw more bodies forward. I mean, Timur Abunan was just redundant for most of the game. He's going from one extreme to another, Corey Moyes, and gutted.
My view is a little bit different. I think, like I said, we were the better side. I think certainly that second half we were the better side, but I just thought it was a pretty poor game all round. We frustrated them in the first half, played very, very narrow. But the issue is, mate, from my mind, there's no creativity. He's gone out to frustrate the game there, but there was United would have sat back all game and not worried about anything because we just weren't able to. Our only shots on target were from a free kick from ages away and Michael Keane from ages away. I do think I've got to give credit to the players because I think the game it was one of the worst games I've seen, but the players themselves put a shift in. They were giving everything they can do. So I'm not going to fault the effort there, and I thought they tried, but it was just a poor game from what I could see. The set pieces poor, and then once again when we try to go and attack them, we're putting all the pressure on them. The other team break on us, and it's because we're playing. That's Tarkowski, Keane, centre back pairing.
Yeah, just sorry, Corey. I was quite reactionary in my post, but I said that Branthwaite stops that goal because he's got the pace to just intercept it. Is that correct, or am I just
100%? 100%. I mean, even Michael Keane was able to keep up to an extent with Mbeumo, and then you see Tarkowski. He had about 5, 6, 7 yards, maybe even more than that on Šeško, and Šeško just managed to take past it because Tarkowski's just not got legs at all. You can't run. You know what I mean? He's a brilliant centre back in a lot of aspects, but he's not someone who can run. And if you had Jake O'Brien, if you had Jared Branthwaite there, they would have.
Can you talk to me about this goal then in a bit more detail? Because the way I saw it was, we've got everyone forward, we're messing about with it. We haven't got security. He's long balled it. Keane's, it's over his head. He's trying to keep up with him. He's checked inside and he's played it in behind the player. And it was almost like slow motion. Why is Tarkowski not engaging? Why is he not putting a block in? Why is the keeper not anticipating where he's going to hit it? Why is Keane not engaged and just took him out even? Take your cars. Stevie's here now, so I'm going to get in the car.
Go on, mate.
He looks fed up. He's come from London, and it's the 7th night match. He looks like he's come from London again. 7 night matches, and we haven't won a fucking game. Unbelievable. I'm going to just... Yeah. You talk for a minute while I just get myself sorted here.
Yeah, of course, mate. I mean, in regards to that goal, it's a brilliant ball. The ball played out to Mbeumo on the right-hand side is absolutely fantastic. You can't stop that. I don't think Michael Keane's done absolutely terrible. He is shepherded his man. He stopped him getting him through on goal. If he brings him down, he gets a red card, to be honest. So I think Michael Keane's actually not done terribly there. Yeah, and Mbeumo gets in and gets that pass off. But when you're basically 2-on-1 at that point, because Šeško has got himself from 10 yards, whatever, behind Tarkowski to about 10 yards in front of him by the time he's made his way to our box. Pickford can't do much about it. If he decides to go one way, then Šeško's going to put it in the other side. He's got all the time in the world. It's just a case of having 2 really, really slow centre-backs, especially James Tarkowski, in the back line. Because when you do that and you prep playing really, really high lines, you are going to be massively, massively vulnerable to the counter-attack and things like that. And that's what we've struggled with there. Usually, if we're playing up like that, or if there's a set piece, you've got Michalenko. You've got Michalenko who's sitting there, and I don't really rate Michalenko that much, but he's certainly got the pace that he's not going to get beaten basically like a 20-yard difference by the time they get to the box. So I just think playing 3 centre-backs, 2 of them being very, very slow, is a massive, massive part of why we've not won tonight. Number 1, because of the counter-attack. And number 2, because we've offered absolutely nothing going forward. Yeah, we had all the ball, we had all, I won't say all the possession, but we had all the territory, yes. But we weren't able to do anything. It's just a kind of guy lacked a lot of invention. I think, again, he struggled. I would have liked us to make the Tyrick George change much sooner and maybe brought Armstrong Central or even Roll on for just a kind of guy, because, again, he seemed like a bit of a passenger.
Yeah, he can't get
it's not working, especially when you go 1-0 down. We've only made 2 substitutions tonight. Tyrick George and then the better one where we've just completely given up the midfield, because we know that United are going to sit back. We can't play through the lines, so let's just put balls in the box. Let's try win for set pieces.
Can't play through the lines now. Dewsbury Hall was good.
No, but then when we play for set pieces, I don't understand. I understand maybe trying what we did a couple of times, like once or twice, but we tried doing that exact same set piece, just putting men on the goalkeeper every time. And well, what that means is when the ball comes in, we've got no
like rugby scrum.
No one's going to run and jump onto it. And this is the thing when it comes to set pieces, is that the team who's attacking it, they have the momentum because they're the ones who are running onto the ball, whereas the defending team are static and they're the ones who are defending against it. If you know what I mean, they're stood and they're having to attack the ball, whereas the other team get the momentum going their way. We've not got.
Can I just say though?
Go on, mate.
Can I just say also? I do see your point, but at some point, if you think of it like this, it was going to hit a red shirt or a blue shirt in those corners, and every time it was hitting a red shirt. If it hits a blue shirt and he's nodding it goalwards, it's in because it's so close. It's just we weren't winning the headers. We were the corners were going into the Lemon's hands.
Yeah, and that's why I don't mind doing it.
You've actually made a lot of points as well, by the way.
To mix things up, it's fine. But we're doing the same thing over and over again. So your signal's dipping out a bit there, mate. And again, it might have been different.
Like Andy's driving back towards the stadium.
Yeah, it might have been different for a lot of people watching, like myself at home, compared to you guys in the stadium, especially with the atmosphere. But the tempo from the team, we just not once did I think we were going to score. Not once at 0-0, at 1-0. Not once did I think we were going to score. And it was just a real. I could have fell asleep. If I wasn't on this stream now, I would have probably got me a Dan out during that match. Especially that first half is just really, really poor.
Whose fault is it? His teams are making a mockery of this new ground.
What was that, mate? Whose fault is it?
Ignore that. I don't know what's going on.
I mean, if we're talking about whose fault is it, I think most of it is down to the manager. Once again, I'm not saying it is a case of Moyes out. In no way, shape, or form am I saying that. It's just a case of, especially at home, he wants us to play more expansive, and especially like the second half where we're doing more on the ball. But there's no point having all that possession of the ball and all that territory if you're not able to play between the lines, or you've not got full-backs who can go forward and whip a ball in. Jared Branthwaite done okay as a centre-back playing left-back. Again, very mobile, good on the ball, but he's not able to whip. He's not able to whip a crossing. He's not able to beat his man. And again, we really struggle for that. So it's mainly on the manager. It's mainly on not so much the tactics, but the players that he's playing, especially when it comes to, if you want to play that kind of football, you need to play the more expansive football, especially at home. You need to play the players that are going to work for it. Two holding midfielders, someone who's a bit more limited, like Idrissa Gana Gueye, doesn't work. Not playing right backs doesn't work. I think when James Garner look, he's probably our best right back in the club, but he's much better at central midfield. James Garner looked at his best for us at times when he was cutting into the central midfield position and he was getting on the ball. So I don't know why he just wouldn't play by Nathan Patterson there. So yeah, very much for me, it's all down on the manager. And again, I'm not saying Moyes out in any way, shape, or form because we're in a fantastic position, but we're throwing away points personally. And again, it's a case of the tactics for tonight are perfectly legitimate tactics. Yeah, it was absolutely crap game of football, but it's a perfectly legitimate tactic when you don't feel like you're going to do well to drag another team down to your level, and that's essentially what we've tried to do today. But if you're going to do that, you need to at least have game changes. We've got that in Element and Jai to an extent, but that's pretty much it. And then when teams double up on him, we can't do much. Like you said, Tierney Barry's completely isolated. So,
Can you turn it down?
You want my mate?
No, I'm listening. Sorry.
No, it's all
I've
right,
got my
mate.
headset on. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, mate. Occasionally you dip in and out of the air signal. But
can I say something controversial?
Go for it, my mate.
I'd get rid of Moyes at the end. I'd get rid of Moyes at the end of the year. I would, because I think the home form is inexplicable. I'm sorry. I think it's absolutely inexplicable. I think it's 4 wins in 13, 14 games out of both cups in the third round.
I mean, the League Cup 100%. League Cup is 100% on him. The FA Cup, we were down to the absolute bare bones, and I thought we actually played well considering. I wouldn't begrudge anyone for saying Moyes out at the end of the season. He wouldn't have been my choice to come in originally anyway. I wanted someone a little bit more progressive, but I'm happy for him to stay until the end of his tenure, especially if we do it in terms of playing the long game of we build organically, and the man who comes in after David Moyes is again he's an evolution of him, and we earmark someone fairly early on. So I'm pretty much, as always, on the fence in terms of Moyes going in the summer, Moyes staying until the end of his contract at the end of next season. But I'm just going to reiterate what Emma says there, favouritism or stubbornness. I think it's stubbornness, and I think it's a willing to trust in, he says himself, it's experienced a little bit, but he says himself it's players who take on instructions in the best way possible. And I think that's what he's getting from the Idrissa Gana Gay, from Jacob O'Brien, that's playing right back and things like that. Michael Keane taking on the instructions well, but there's only so much you can take on instruction when it really doesn't work for the team. So it's very much on David Moyes. But yeah, Emma, I agree. Mainly stubbornness, and I think it's just his way of seeing things. I don't think there's favouritism. He just has a lack of trust in young players because, again, do they take on instructions in the way that he wants them to do so?
Hi, Corey, can you hear me?
I can hear you, mate. Yeah, I can. How'd you feel?
Yeah,
how was
good
that,
to
mate?
see you.
Go to it again.
I don't know.
Before we said we played shit.
By defeats, I thought we
played shit.
Who's speaking here? Defeat wise, it's as narrow as it's going to get, because I felt like we really bossed the second half. We really gave it a good go, but I felt like we were so predictable with those corners. We had a lot of corners, and we didn't really recognise it wasn't working the first, second, third, fourth times. How many times do you want to put the ball right by the keeper and make it easy for him to punch it away, or to kind of make it easy for him to head away? So I think we missed a tactical opportunity to maybe play one short, play one edge of box, just play a bit different, because we did have a lot of possession football towards the last third of the game, the last 30 minutes. Obviously, it just feels like a bitter defeat again, because we've lost to a counter-attacking, £199 million worth of attacking goal, I might say, from the United side that haven't lost for 2 months. And I was there till the end, and even beyond the whistle. And there were boos for the referee, but lots of good singing still post whistle, almost like the singing that you get when we win, which suggests that most of the crowd recognised Everton's effort and
Dominance.
We didn't, without doing a lot, really cut through. We didn't really look like we were going to score, but then maybe United were quite solid defensively towards the end, and don't ask us a question. Maybe we needed a little bit more cutting edge just to break through. But Tyreek George did pretty well down my side, down the east stand side when he came in. But you're left scratching your head. I thought before the whistle that Ryan and I were on the show, didn't think it was the right thing to play Branthwaite at left back. I felt, when you play these outer players, it has a massive impact on the whole team, the whole shape of the side. And I thought Garner was brilliant, by far our best right back. Thought he ran the legs. He just ran the length of the pitch so many times. He was just
Can I just say, 4 wins in 14, out the cups in both the third round. Doesn't play any of his signings.
no.
No,
That's a fair.
it's
That is worth it.
negative things to
That
say.
is worth interrupting me for, because I think basically you've got a lot of talent on the bench, and you look at
Doesn't like his own signing.
what do you think of Barry again? We said this before the game. We were going to be.
He's just isolated, isn't he? He just looked isolated on his own for 60 minutes.
Yeah, but
And flicking it on himself.
I've seen other Everton strikers isolated and still. Even Calvert-Lewin did things when he was isolated. Did a lot more.
I think Barry's better than Calvert-Lewin.
Well, it's not
I
the
think
Calvert-Lewin.
on the ball, Thierry Barry's better. I think you could see today there was a little bit of a shift in how he was playing, because he was getting the ball instead of holding on to it. He was doing first time pass. He was getting the touch once, laying it off, and then going from there. But the issue is, he'd be laying off to Harrison Armstrong, Keenan Dewsbury Hall, or he'd be laying off to anyone basically, and then making a movement. But again, because we don't have wide players, the Manchester United centre backs could just put 2 men on him, or we just slow
Can I
the
ask
game
a
right
question?
down.
We said this.
Can I ask
What width was a problem?
Ask a question. So the whole match, he would have just left Barry up front on his own, and he was isolated, right? And then the goal we concede is the first time I can recall getting tons of players forward in the whole match, and then they run up the other end and score. So does that mean that Moyes is right to not go all out and just wait for us to concede? And also, he had George ready to come on sub, and he waited to concede the goal before he swapped him. He did that against Brentford and Wolves.
I think the way the goal happened, then Moyes might rationalise that his way of thinking and his defensiveness probably within that by saying, well, look, we've gone very attacking and we've conceded. But if we're being completely honest, I think it's not that's the issue. You can go attacking if you have the right players on to defend against it. Like I said, it's the fact that we're playing. The reason we're conceding at home when we're actually pushing up higher is because teams are counter-attacking us, they're catching us on the break. And it's because, again, we've not got the right players on to play the more attacking football. He plays the same players away from home as he does at home. And the reason it works away from home is because we play a little bit more defensive, and it works for them players. If you're going to play at home and you're going to play more attacking and have more of the ball higher up the pitch, you can't have 4 centre-backs on, or 3 centre-backs, at least not centre-backs who are proper centre-backs. It's not like Arsenal. We've got Timber, who's very good at right-back as well as centre-back. He's got pace. We've got 3 centre-backs there on the pitch. One of them has got legs to him, fair play to Bramford, but he's still not a full-back. We've got Keane and Tarkowski, who, again, haven't got pace. So the teams are going to catch it on the counter. You've got 2 central midfielders there in terms of Garner and Gay. Now, Gay doesn't have the legs or the energy anymore. Garner was playing right back as well instead of having the energy. He would have probably been in he would have been in the position to break that counter attack potentially if he was playing centrally as opposed to on the right hand side. I could be wrong, because he might have been on the right hand side to lose the ball, but they're the players who you need to have if you're playing more attacking out the team. You can't be just having big centre backs who don't have pace, and you can't be having Idrissa Gana Gueye just does not have the legs or the energy anymore. So I think it's the personnel he's choosing. When we're playing more progressive football, you need to have different players on for that.
Yeah, it's good analysis of why it worked away from home, because you see, almost it's like watching 2 different sides at the moment.
But we were secure at home today, weren't we, at the start?
I thought
look like we were going to concede.
First half, we definitely battled. The draw was kind of...
It wasn't good, but we didn't look like we were going to concede the whole match.
Draw would have been a fair result today, but you don't always get what you deserve. And we're now making a habit of losing at home, which is a bit ugly. And it's like, this is the blueprint. Yeah, we said in the pre-match, Ryan and I said that we weren't confident with the lineup and the shape and I described it as a round peg in a square hole. This continuous thing where you don't play out and out fullbacks, it does catch you at home.
It's nauseating, isn't he, what he's doing?
And then the left side looked like it lost balance. It didn't look like we were going to have any width. So we did stifle them exactly as I predicted in terms of we limited them to just that one chance, the Tarkovsky clearance off the line.
Was that off the line?
Yeah, but it was.
What was that?
And that was the only chance they had in the
We
first.
should have scored
In the second half.
Harry hits it straight at the goalie. The ball comes over to him and he hits it straight at the goalie. A tame shot.
Yeah,
Right at the start.
Straight. That was in the first 40
Ridiculous.
seconds. Look, that United side may well finish third or very close to fourth. And we might look back. This was a hard game. A good side. They've spent a lot of money on players. They've got a bounce from Michael Carrick. We're looking at it through blue-tinted eyes. They'll say that this was a smash and grab. We did the business at Old Trafford.
But every team wins here.
At the moment, it does, and obviously it's fearful that it's not that long before we play Chelsea and Liverpool. But yeah, it's going to be hard.
In regards to the context of the match itself before the game, a 1-0 loss to United when we've been the better side in the smash and grab, like you said, it's a bitter pill to swallow. But you'd probably go away with some positivity, thinking, you know what, we've played all right. Again, United team in really good form, new manager bounce, where they are in the table. So in isolation, you'd say, you know what, that actually, it makes sense to not have it sting too much. But the issue is, or it sting, but it's not a massive worry. The issue we've got is, this is consistent. We can bring teams down to our level, or we can even play better than teams, but we've still been throwing games away, or we just still cannot. We still do not have the creativity to make the most of our dominating the ball and dominating the territory on the game. So it's in isolation. 1-0 loss to United isn't the end of the world. A draw wouldn't have been the end of the world or something like that. But it's every there's a pattern. It looks. The game today is symptomatic of the issues at hand throughout the whole season. And if that's the case throughout the whole season, then it does fall on the manager.
There's some really good comments coming in. I'm just looking at them as well. It's a little bit hard to do the comments, though, unfortunately, while I'm in the back of the car. But is there anything, Corey, that stood out to you? The pertinent thing I'm taking away from this now, I'm thinking one of the lowest scorers in the league, lost 7 or 8 games at home, out the cups in the third round. We've still got Chelsea, United and Liverpool. And what was the other point I made before? Sorry, Chelsea, Liverpool and City to play at home. What was an Arsenal away? What was my negative point I made before? The other one? I forgot. Can't remember.
You're right, though. I mean, look, I'm looking at the game still to play this season, and there's still probably... This doesn't sound great, to be fair, considering there's 11 games still to go. But there's I can see still being about 15 points left to play for the end of this, between now and the end of the season, which I think we'll get 15 points from the games that are left. And I think if you work that out in terms of how many points per game we've got so far this season, it's roughly the same. So it still keeps us there or thereabouts in the hunt for Europe. What I said at the start of the season was the aim
Only
this
Europe,
season
is
Europe. The aim is Europe. The target is to be there or thereabouts come the end of the season if we don't make it, and the bare minimum is mid-table. So we're still very much within that. I think there's just a lot of frustration. There's just a lot of frustration for me anyway. That there's just players. And a couple of weeks ago for one of the games, I said, what do I want more than anything? Just play the right players in their right positions, and that's it. I just want to say, Peter, I don't think Europe is a pipe dream with these players. I don't think the players are absolutely garbage. We've got solid centre-backs. The situation is dire. But again, we've got solid central midfielders. Dewsbury Hall's been brilliant. James Garner, touted potentially for England. Iliman and Jai, skillful, brilliant. And I still think that Tierney Barry can still get his 4 or 5 goals between now and the end of the season. But we need to change the way we play. Gustavo Toffee, mate, I hate Bruno all the time. He's an absolute rat.
Are there any other things, Corey, you want to talk about?
Not particularly, mate. I think we've covered it. It's the same thing week in, week out at the moment, isn't it? Is that not playing players where they should do? Jacob O'Brien's probably going to come in next week, and we'll have him playing right back. Does that mean we get Branthwaite?
Is it Burnley away?
Burnley at home, isn't it?
Probably still find a way to not win. Don't tell me that's midweek again.
Yeah, of course it is.
What? How's it midweek again?
Wait a
In the night? Joking
Will be,
me.
yeah, won't
Who's doing this? Fuck off.
it? Hunt them down, lad. Hunt them down. The sorry, no. Our next game's Newcastle next weekend, and then it's Burnley midweek. Away to
What, this
Newcastle, then home to
weekend?
Burnley.
Yeah,
The
Newcastle
weekend coming,
weekend.
yeah. Is Newcastle away?
On
And
that
again, mate,
bombshell,
look,
that's...
we'll go there and get 3 points or get a draw or something. Like Bucks will start playing defensive and it'll be us against the world kind of thing. But we need to just be able to play teams at home.
Can't get points at home. How many is it at home?
What so far this season?
How many defeats
you know
and
what?
how many points?
Let's have a little look here. 0-0.
Then we'll wrap it up because I don't want to talk about them. They're not worth my breath. Imagine having to walk back from town to town now, then get a train,
Yeah.
and then a bus.
1,
Bye,
2,
Kevin.
4. 1, 2, 5. 2, 2, 5. 2, 2,
Why were you pressing ourselves?
Goodbye, Mark. We're trying to work out how many points.
Yeah, why were you pressing ourselves?
3, 4, 6.
Even more.
Hate them.
3. Is it 4 wins, 3 draws, and 6 defeats? But we haven't won. When was the last one we won? Was it Forest was the last one we won at home?
Forest at home.
Forest at home, yeah. Forest at home was the last one we won at home, and that was start of December. So we lost to Arsenal, which was harsh. The Brentford one was piss poor. The draw against Wolves, piss poor. 1-1 to Leeds, piss poor. And the Bournemouth defeat was piss poor for 10 minutes. The rest of the game, I thought we actually were the better side, and the United one tonight, which again probably the better side, but it was still piss poor performance in terms of tactics, and we have been showing absolutely nothing.
Let's leave it there, Corey.
There we go.
I would normally have more energy to rant about this for ages, but I'm just not feeling it.
Jaded, exhausted, tired of it all at this moment in time. It's the same thing over and over again, isn't it, mate? You can't get angry at the same thing over and over again. Sometimes you just become apathetic to it at times. So we're still top half of the table.
This guy's had to travel back from London every single game.
Done 14 times. I'm done now.
He's had enough. He's given up. See you later, Kozaf.
Peace out.
All right.
Peace out.
All right.
Up the Toffees.
Bye, guys. Thanks for watching.